The top 4 of the Demon Hunting Group selection competition has been decided, and both Long Haochen and Kair have entered the top 4. That night, Long Haochen, who's preoccupied, has trouble falling asleep. Finally, in the middle of the night, he knocks on the door of Yihua's room and says, "Teacher, if my opponent happens to be Kair, I want to give up this game." After saying that, Long Haochen drops his head, waiting for the teacher's scolding. He knows how high Yihua's expectations are for him, and his decision will undoubtedly hurt Yihua's heart. To his surprise, however, Yihua is not angry. After a moment of silence, he says in a deep voice, "This is your game, you can decide for yourself." He knows Long Haochen very well. It's impossible for him to fight against Kair on the challenge arena. Since that's the case, why bother forcing Long Haochen to do something against will? Hearing Yihua's answer, Long Haochen is slightly stunned with a trace of surprise flashing across his eyes. After a moment, Long Haochen's handsome face flashes with a grateful smile. After thanking the teacher, he returned to his dormitory and go to sleep with no worries. When Long Haochen leaves, Yihua lets out a light sign. He has his reason to agree to Long Haochen's decision. He didn't tell Long Haochen that the top 3 of the trials wouldn't be in the same team, afraid that Long Haochen would be too emotional and let a woman stand in front of his future. The next day, with favorable weather conditions, the participants are refreshed bathing in the warm sunshine. Around the testing ground, there are already crowds gathering, all of whom come to witness the final decision and couldn't wait to see the fight of the strongest 4 in this trial. Under the intense gaze of countless people, Han Xian holds a draw ceremony to determine the relationship between the top 4. Long Haochen, who's so nervous, prays that he won't be in a group with Kair, his palms sweaty. Yang Wenjiao, Mu Ning, and the other 2 contestants also wear grim looks on their faces. Kair, however, remains cold and composed as if she isn't the one competing. Finally, Han Yu announces that Long Haochen will be against Kair in the first round and Yang Wenjiao against Mu Ning in the second round. Upon hearing this, Long Haochen's body stiffens for a moment. After a moment, he flashes a bitter smile and shakes his head. Since it's meant to be, he will accept it calmly. He has already made a secret decision to abstain from the game as soon as it starts. On Kair's side, when hearing the result, she still projects an air of calmness, and her expression remains unchanged as if she doesn't care who her opponent is. She reaches out her hand and holds Long Haochen's hand. Feeling the soft and smooth touch coming from the palm of his hand, Long Haochen is taken aback and turns his head to look at Kair's stunning face. The gloominess on his face instantly vanishes. The referee on the challenge arena calls out the names of Long Haochen and Kair after consulting the temple elders. Their competition is about to start. Long Haochen takes a deep breath and is about to lead Kair's hand into the challenge arena. Her soft voice sounds, "Let's go straight to the next game." "I admit defeat." Kair's voice, though soft, is like a thunderbolt on the ground, causing an uproar among the audience. Even the 6 elders sitting in the center of the grandstand, who hold high positions, are all amazed. In their eyes, Kair is the most promising contender for the championship. Why did she give up the competition so easily and even give up the spirit furnace for championship reward? After a while, Han Xian first regains consciousness. At the thought of the relationship between Long Haochen and Kair, a hint of joy spreads over the face of this majestic and calm knight commander. Ying Suifeng, the deputy of the Assassin's Temple, with his face livid with anxiety, quickly steps down from his seat and trots all the way to Kair's side, and his breathing can be heard even through his helmet. He's trying to persuade Kair not to be emotional, but Kair ignores him. Unlike the shocked crowd, Long Haochen is in a panic. He is the one who intended to give up, but how could Kair give up? Long Haochen grabs Kair's jade hand and says anxiously, "No, you can't. Kair, you are stronger than me." The rapid speed of his speech reflects his inner anxiety, but Kair just beams a smile and whispers, "Your glory is mine." Bang. Long Haochen's heart beats violently at her words as if it has been hit by a hammer. A surge of heat rushes through his mind as he struggles to open his mouth, but words fail to express himself. Staring affectionately at the beautiful girl in front of him, Long Haochen makes up his mind to protect Kair in this lifetime. With the match between Kair and Long Haochen ending in this extremely dramatic form, the referee announces the start of the match between Yang Wenjiao and Mu Ning. To everyone's surprise, Mu Ning also gives up at the very beginning. In yesterday's 8-4 game, Mu Ning managed to win at the last minute, which has consumed much of his strength and injured him at some extent. If he competes with Yang Wenjiao today, it could only aggravate the injury. The referee on the challenge arena's face clouded. 2 consecutive matches have ended with one giving up, making him feel a bit embarrassed. With his brow furrowed, the referee braces himself and exclaims, "Let's move to the finals with the number 3 against the number 4. Kair versus Mu Ning." However, as soon as he finishes his words, a cold voice rang through the audience. "I admit defeat." Kair gives up the game again. The referee feels a slap on his face, and the corners of his mouth couldn't stop twitching. Everyone in the audience cast their eyes at Kair in amazement. Mu Ning's no longer a threat for Kair. Why did she voluntarily give up? Long Haochen, also a bit confused, looks at Kair, his eyes full of confusion. Kair just tilts her head slightly, and with her head pressed against his arm, and says softly, "Fool, the top 3 cannot be in the same demon hunting group." Long Haochen feels like a shock going through his body. When he looks at Kair again, Long Haochen's eyes turn slightly red. On the rostrum, Ying Suifeng trembles with anger, grabbing the arms of the wooden chair till his fingerprints are left on them. Han Xian casts a glance at his longtime friend and chuckles with glee. Afraid of his old friend would lose his temper, Han Yan tries hard to refrain from laughter, a pink flush spreading over his cheeks.